videos. So I was watching right now. I paused it. I actually paused it at around 12 minutes or 12 minutes and a half for the Iowa Retro Gamer Day. Is this a new video right now? Yeah, it's a new video. All right, boom. So that was a good video actually. The context of a lot of the things that you pointed out in your video is like it's like crucially important things that I notice why many people in all genres come and go. And one thing I could definitely say to you is that I come from SoundCloud world when SoundCloud was still free, but I came in there a little late. I was a little late to the party, so I might have been a year or 2 years late to the party. But SoundCloud when it first came out and it was free was a great app to use. I will definitely say that immediately. Yo, peace to my first viewer too so far. Thank you. SoundCloud was a very good social media app, and if you could, in a short amount of time, figure out how to use it, which many didn't, you could have maybe went viral from back in the days. You could have been like the 2014, 15 person going viral, and maybe becoming famous, making music. Who knows? A lot of people did though. So, um, throughout the years of messing with social medias on different platforms, I started figuring out certain things here and there. But for some one blessing, I would say to anybody who's trying to build up a social media platform is to leave the thought of I can be just as good as somebody else or I could be better than this person and I'm just gonna do this in 2 months or I just wrote my first rhyme last week. Like get that out your mind and just be genuinely yourself. Exactly. Dab on them real quick. Just be genuinely yourself. So through this is maybe more than 7 8 years I'm talking about now. Um maybe even 9. This story I'm going into. Um my first break of like good social media streaming numbers was on SoundCloud. And what I kind of immediately realized with it was can I re-implicate this again? Can I do it again and again and again? And when I started maybe developing it to a little extent, there was a limit I was really only able to reach. And I'm gonna say that's due to the fact that I needed to amplify it maybe times 5 what I was doing at that moment to really make maybe something grow and happen. But I was creating things that wasn't normal through that format. One time I took a SoundCloud that had no following, no nothing, and I gained it 500 following in 1 week, 100K views in 1 week, based off the content that I randomly posted on it. So this, what I just said right now, is a crucial key that I kept along with me through all these years about specific content you might post on your media. Like for example, on my YouTube page here for the shorts, there's a lot of memes. I come from the realm of shit posting. And a couple of the people that I got to make relationships with, some of them developed hundreds of thousand following on IG, and I'm talking about from years ago. Damn, I forget Savage Realm. There's a dude called Savage Realm. There's a couple of them, and they come from the. I was like there in the beginning before they really blew up big time, and I just always kept in my mind just to learn piece by piece over time how to just work with social media. For example, the shit posting of memes that I post upon this YouTube helped me maybe gain another 70 or more followers to this page at the moment, which I highly appreciate. And I'm not gonna stop doing that, posting that, little shorts content if that could help build up a platform. So aside from that, I'm doing what I'm doing right now too as well, which I'm appreciative to even 1 or 2 views. And thank you for immediately even giving me that like right there. Thank you very much. That I'm okay with stuff like this, and this is what like I'm talking about from like 8 9 years ago. So what I noticed maybe a little bit something here that's different from other social medias is that I've been posting these little memes here and there, and I think that's a decent amount of people that are building up in numbers to be following, which I'm gonna keep going forward with, and maybe hopefully I could gain monetization or A, B, C, or D that can amplify another thing for me later down the line. But is that my instant expectations? Nah. For some reason, blessedly, I never really had that in the background for myself. It was more of can you can you wash and repeat? Can you stay wash and repeat? And if you can develop a path of washing and repeating, you could build stuff, but for me, I would say honestly, it takes time. I don't have like how people use stream farming platforms and bots and this, that, and whatnot to help amplify my scenario. For these 8 9 years, I'm physically always doing this whatever I'm doing upon these platforms that I use on the internet. So that was a great thing he pointed out when he started talking about this, about maybe one behalf that could be encouraging or discouraging, about when it comes to making a YouTube page, a music page, a video game page, whatever it may be. I would say genuinely try to get good at the craft and try to tap into understanding towards how you can build a community that engages with you over time. But um when I did a video the other day when I was on live stream and I started chatting like the NPCs. Can you spare me a like, please? Spare some likes. I'm just playing character or whatever at that moment of time. But I'm good enough with just to have a viewer or two and to be engaging with 7 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes into the dialogue of what I'm speaking upon. Whether it's nothing or it is some form of substance, maybe you can gain through it. And like I said, for me, when it comes to speaking about physical media and retro collecting, I consider myself a little bit deeper than your average person. I'm really into it for the art. I think that that's the one thing that drew anybody to a video game, a song, a comic book, a movie. You're seeing visuals. You're seeing things. Think about it when you're a baby and it's like three squares that's a different color, and on the screen you're seeing them move around. It goes for any animal, being, anything. You might start being drawn to watching what is going on, and subconsciously I would say if anybody's even into whatever object maybe that drew them when they was a little kid to right now in adulthood, it's because of the visualizations and maybe the sound frequencies too. So what it always look like fun as I get older now at these ages is beautiful art to me. It's a story behind each video game. People who had to work over hundreds of hours to develop. Who knows what happened to these people who might have these people who make all these video games. They all have a dream that this is going to be their one Mario or Pokemon game. And then where are they, like how they have on VH1, where are they now? A lot of people got those kind of dreams. And I would say for myself when I was first making music and stuff, maybe I think of myself a little bit higher than I should have been thinking of myself, but it's still maybe a positive thing to do to think high of yourself in general. But the stuff I was making then compared to I would say later down the line in the beginning wasn't as well as what's going on now. So and I'm more humble now, I would say, to what I do or what I make, and the limitations I can see within myself compared to what I was not seeing then. But it's maybe a good thing. It's maybe a good thing when you go into something blind, but you're just gonna keep working at it, and you think in that positive way, than to think otherwise. I'm not too sure. I think it's best to owe it to be more positive than to be real, just fully realistic into things you're getting into. You might be able to have a better outcome with your positivity and self too. But as you can see, like what I've been lately doing on streaming or whatever upon this channel is more predominantly in behalf talking about physical media objects and maybe I need to consider collecting this and that and that and this now. But I really enjoy seeing different spectrums and sides of people. Like when I was just watching with him speak about how he almost gave up on his YouTube channel, but really you never know what. Look, he probably did this channel from a couple years ago, and your data, your videos, if as long as people leave your videos up on YouTube, you never know who might like your video 10 years from now. You know, a lot of the memes, and I'm talking about from when memes was really going on and shit posting was really going on, because I feel like memes kind of changed to an exchange extent right now. Like it's more like on TikTok memes than it was on Instagram, and I'm kind of getting sidetracked. Oops. It can excuse me y'all if that happens to me. We're getting sidetracked, but damn, I'm kind of lost right now. But to talk about, definitely be positive. Um, Something I was gonna say about with the shit posting thing, and I'm a little bit stuck, bro. Um, anyway, yeah, I never went into things like in this modern time that I'm in. I never really went into it on the behalf of oh, this is just gonna work out. I noticed there's some videos out here in the world. Oh, I just did this a week ago. I just did I straight was on not to say Joe Biden mode, but whatever that dude is from the politics who is like, and then people's asking him questions, but he's just like, I straight went on that right now. No cap, no cap, yo. Yeah, that's because it was something. Yeah, weed, y'all. Maybe the weed. Yo, anyway, anyway, anyway. But yeah, I never went into things like as in these modern days on the behalf of like, oh yeah, it's just gonna work in a week or whatever, whatever. I wanted to just learn and like, I feel like that's how the real world is. You gotta practice a bunch of times to shoot a ball into the hoop until you can develop a consistency, and that's the same thing with anything else in life. If you want to retro collect, it's not gonna just happen in the first day or the first month. It's gonna happen through you doing consistency, and yeah, for how he was expressing his behalf, I grew up loving video games from a little kid, arcade games, all that stuff. I mean, like to the extent, like when I got hit to emulators, maybe 10 or more years ago, I think it was more than 10 years ago. It might have been 15, 20 years ago. I was like really addicted to playing, what is that? MAME, arcade emulator. And then I would say more in modern day, what emulator I would say I would be playing is Japanese translated NES, SNES, Sega Genesis games, PC Engine. So like games that, to be honest with you, PC. I never had no friend. I never had PC Engine, Turbo Graphics, and no associate out here in the city where I live in New York. I never seen that in physical person. But emulators, through the blessing of that, I played a junk out of that stuff. So, um, there was a pocket era of me with doing that behalf, and like yo, I love it how you put the load in, and then I just crashed. I was trying to load back up that data, but it just was stuck, yo. I was stuck trying to get that data back. Yeah, it's real. It's real life, y'all. But I never knew about collecting, like how to collect, like how I've been doing over these past couple years. And I would tell you that it really even more picked up within the second or third year. It picked up for me definitely within the second and third year. We're going into the fourth year now, and today I got some great stuff that I'm very appreciative towards the opportunity. And it's not an overnight thing. It takes consistency and searching. It takes a lot of consistency in searching to gain opportunity to obtain that kind of stuff. You know, you want Jordans, you want some Supreme T-shirt, whatever you lit fleek. You know, Max Riz kids like. You gotta like really tap in on the internet on a daily basis, and you could come across it. People getting rid of it. That's how I do it for this whole time. And then you Max Riz. That's what I should have really called this episode. Max Riz. Next episode, Max Riz. Max Riz. Do I got Max Riz? Max Riz, bro. Yo, where did I put those at on the floor? I love it. I love it. We're doing late night. We're doing late night physical media, y'all. Shout out Iowa Retro Gaming Dad. Dude. I used to grow up when I was a kid, like most kids in America or around the world, you might get like a game or two a year. You might get a game or two a year, especially if you can't travel like that. You are getting a game or two a year, probably per console. From the world I'm from, I didn't have 20 games and more per console, to be honest with you, growing up. This era of right now, over these past 4 years, to have like hundreds of video games, that happened over these past couple years. Yeah, I would definitely say that. But this was not overnight. Not at all. This was not overnight. This took 3.5, 4 years to be able to gain this level of doing stuff like this. First, I was going to the flea markets, to be honest with you. First, I was going to the flea markets, and then after the flea market, I just hardcore. Here's the other Tekken 3 right here. I just hardcore tapped in to like buying off GameStop, buying off Amazon, buying off eBay, buying off any apps like OfferUp, what Macari, so and there's like a system of places where eBay, I would tell anybody, if you can't really travel like that, eBay, I would tell you, is the number one still right now source. I would tell y'all before that game changes up to try to get your hands on retro games or a lot of video games. eBay, and when you want to get like modern era games right now, I would tell you to just stay on top of Amazon than to deal with GameStop. I would definitely say that. But like, when I was a kid, I didn't have stacks of games like this. I didn't know how to obtain that. I didn't know how to go about that. If I would have collected games just for the past 10 years alone, in the 100,000s, I'll probably be able to claim the y'all just from 10 years alone. And this is 4 years. I'm telling you, I feel like at least because like before I started, so if you go rewind the extra 4 or 5 years back from that, it was an even better pocket to get these games for even cheaper. A lot of these games. So if you could at least have, if I had like, let's say 9 or 10 years ago, I had the data retained by that time about a lot of these video games and just started going after them. These games, dollar. Yo, what? Parappa the Rapper? This is my first possession of this so far. This game came out in 1997. I had maybe the demo disc to this. Maybe an associate or I rented this game. I never had a physical copy. My first physical copy of this realm was somebody a while back on the internet had Unjammer Lammy for a good deal. They had Unjammer Lammy and Time Crisis. I got 2 copies of those. They had Unjammer Lammy and Time Crisis. That was my first copy from the maker of this. But now I'm not getting rid of this. This is as long as this don't get disc rot, this is permanently in my my collection. Definitely. That RPG games, certain RPG games, certain horror games, are gonna I'm gonna keep in my permanent collection. Point Blank, permanent collection. I gotta get the gun. Either but the sweet spot is that you could buy you play that on PS2 as well, if I'm right. So I just gotta get the gun for that. Mega Man Legends, if I could get part 1 now, which is actually only $60, that stays in the permanent collection. Actually, I would tell y'all to look out for this game. Crash Bandicoot Part 2, Crash Bandicoot Part 3, and Crash Team Racing. You got to get the first print. You see the Crash Part 2, Crash Part 3 is a hologram cover. And then this one, as you see, is a gold foil cover. So anything with that kind of material, that's like a special edition thing that I would say maybe consider to keep your eyes and look out upon. Yeah, as y'all know from when I showed in the video earlier, this is what I got today. Armored Core, freaking Mega Man Legends 2, just Point Blank. I got like 30 games, but like I would tell y'all, all I had to see out that pile was these two, and they got to deal with me. So it was a nice pile of like around $800 in games, and yeah, in the coming future, we'll see how it goes about physical media. Am I stopping? No. If I could I basically paid $7 a game. All right, I paid $7 a game today, y'all. I got a PS1, which I got like three other PS1s, and so I got tons of wires and joysticks, so that's okay. Every time I get those, I'm not even worried about the wires and joysticks. So I come across that all the time, and I got that. I got a GameCube. 3.5 to 4 years of looking for video games. No GameCube controller. With Mario Sunshine, no GameCube controller. Almost 4 years right now. No game out of all my video games. I got 2 Sega Saturns complete in box. One out of the box. So that's 3 Sega Saturns. I got like 2 Dreamcasts. I got maybe 3 or 4 GameCubes. No controller. They all always come with the wire and the freaking adapter. No controller. Notorious. If I would say to y'all what is the hardest things for me to find in New York is Nintendo games, Game Boy games, SNES games, Sega Genesis games, which I believe is still out here in the city. But when it comes to like listings on the internet, like I'm telling you, almost 4 years, I have still not obtained like how I got these 30 games today. I have not got in 30 Super Nintendo games yet. Or it's because they be overpricing and stuff like that. So I don't really do that. But yo, it's 100% possible, y'all, to get games for reasonable prices. This happened today. Yo, it's kind of crazy, y'all, too. But I'm gonna say it's a blessing of God, or maybe spirits or spirituality. Last year 8K for $200. I'll post a video again in the coming future of like all my games I have, and then I could explain even while I'm doing the video about it how I got a lot of those games here, there, and there. But GameCube, PS2, Dreamcast, a little Sega Saturn, a little bit of PS1. It was like that's like that. This is like maybe the 3rd or 4th time out of these four years so far that I got a lot of games. Maybe yeah, like the 3rd or 4th time. But yeah. Yup. You could go digital. You could stay renting this every month if you want for $10. I'm not. I'm good on that. I'd rather pay the $7 right now or the $10 right now, and that's it for the rest of the days, unless that disc get disc rock. That's the only other thing. But I'm good. I will pass on that. I will gladly play my Tekken, and I got a backwards compatible on PS3. Some Destruction Derby. I remember paying part 1. I never had part 2, so I was considering to keep this in the pile. Freaking Nice Twisted Metal Part 1. Hercules. Hercules. Come on, man. Come on, man. Well, this was the missing disc one? Yeah, okay, so this was the missing disc one, the Tekken Part 2. But I really don't, but I got Bubsy. I got Bubsy instead. And then Tekken Part 2 don't even cost that much. I got a complete Tekken 3 today. So what I was just showing that in the PAL. Where was that? So now I got 2 Tekken 3s. So yo, I just peeped that. Yo, Iowa. Yo, full support, bro. Full support. We in here, yo. Yeah, so this is today, bro. This is today. Today's my birthday. I'm a 40-year-old coffee drinker. New York. Rotten apple. Apple with the worms in it. And like, nah, bro. We here, yo. We here. We getting up, yo. We getting up, dog. We getting up, yo. Yeah, a ton of games, bro. A ton of games. Like, yo, in my childhood, would never have shit like this, to be honest with you. Would never be able to really obtain games like this. $7 a piece, yo. $7 a piece today. 180. Around I'm gonna say like 800 or like a little 8 and change. Yo, bro. Yo. I got mad banging stuff though. You know what I tell people? Yo, I want to say to you, maybe I don't know if you remember this from like childhood time, but I'm 40. But I say to people, like, out of all this video game stuff, and I'm gonna say that people in other countries might relate to what I'm saying. This is my true game highlights, yo. It's like, this is my childhood, y'all. This is a wind-up game toy made by Tommy, which still makes fabulous toys in Japan. But this was like the original Game Boys to me. Like, so handheld games of the future and all that, whatever. This is my like price. This ain't even expensive like that. But this is what I kind of consider game, like little handheld things like this. The original LCDs. Gaming, a Star Fox Game & Watch, and that's actually a little video game inside the watch and tells the time. These are kind of I would consider my most little special highlights, especially from my childhood. Was the watch, I would tell you, is insanely hard to obtain. But yeah, I'm happy you came into my show, bro. Thank you. That's that. Yo, I always stay showing it. What is my most highlight of prized possession things? I would tell them like I consider this the beginning to me. So before you had a 3DS, a Game Boy, before you had Game Boy, yeah, you had them little LCD games, and then you got a little cartridge as a blessing of a birthday present. But yeah, we in here, man. Yo, blessedly, this is the second year that in a row, basically. Well, this is actually a 1 year span, because it happened around my last birthday, that me finding those GameCube stuff, and now today I got like 30 pieces for the PS2. Freaking Spawn PS1, Amuasha, if I'm saying that right, Part 3 PS2, which I bought like 2 copies of Part 1 and Part 2 off of eBay. I think I got them for like $6-7. And now I finally got a Part 3. Yeah, it was a cool day though. It was a very cool day today. And yeah, I was speaking earlier on the video about something that you said that I 100% agree to. That I never got on social media really with like the hopes of something like a quick buck. I just create art, like even just talking and seeing the physical of me, like I think everything in life is a form of art. So and if people will accept me for me, like I accept you for you, and anybody else, everybody who's watching my thing right now, yeah, like it shouldn't be difficult for people just to be nice to each other and whatnot. Dude, I got no games that are good. Freaking yo, hit eBay, What is it? What is the strategy? I'm telling y'all the strategy right now. You hit up eBay and look under benefits and charity. When you're looking for games, look under benefits and charity, and that's and yeah, you're gonna find some Goodwills that got the banging prices. All right, that's from Uncle Santa Claus to y'all. If y'all never knew that, yeah, it's yo. That's I think a lot of big time people who collect on social media or with all this other stuff. That's like one of their secret places that I just told y'all about. There's Goodwills on the eBay that you could get some good deals. To be honest with you, you don't need like how I collect video games. I would say, yo, I want to go back to what the Noble loans. I want to give them some advice on that, but I want to say with what you're saying about the Goodwill auction site. So I wanted to experiment with that, but the issue was like the prices was just too high, so I left it alone. But what I would say is check Goodwills out on eBay. They're fat, yo, it's $10, free shipping. Yeah, forget that Goodwill, the Goodwill website. There's Goodwills for multiple states on eBay. And you could get games for $6, $10, $15. And I said it like on 2-3 videos to people. Consider getting the Metal Gears for the PS2. They're still under $10 if you look up on eBay right now, free shipping. And Metal Gear Part 1 is $44, I think, or something like that. So there's a lot of games you still can buy under $10. And yeah, under $10. I got maybe a copy or two just recently. And I did that because of like those are the best three, 1, 2, and 3. So $5, $10. But eventually over time, it'll get scarce, could go up in value. So yeah, I go after games like under $10 and whatnot, definitely religiously, to be honest with you, over these past 2 years. There's a if you like Zelda games, there's a cheap game for the GBA called Monster House. And part of the team that's working on the remake of the new Silent Hill, I think they're called Behavior from Canada. All the games Behavior made for the GBA, I consider bangers. Kim Possible Part 2 and 3, great game. I think they made the Lilo Stitch Part 1 and 2, good games. The Lilo Stitch in Part 1 and 2 is like Metal Slug, but for the GBA. And Monster House is like what is that game? Zombies Ate My Neighbors / Zelda game, and all in the it's a very good game, and they're cheap. They're very cheap. That's what I go after. I studied fucking catalogs, the shit out of it, and I think I figured out like the gems out of the eras for certain things. There's these 2 rail shooters, so that's like the screen be moving and you gotta aim the bullseye to hit things like Wild Guns for the SNES. There's 2 rail shooters from Japan for the Game Boy Color. I forget the name, and the character's like a cat, and that shit looks fat, like off the hook. Game Boy Color, a lot of people slept on. Game Boy Color GBA, 2 systems people slept on. Yeah, my addiction is art, I guess to say. Visualizations, things moving, the beauty of them, like graphics, and how they was able to do that stuff. If I was to say, maybe my addiction is art. And like history, man, the history behind some of these people and how maybe they're able to build other fantastic games piece by piece by piece. Who's the dude, man? Whoever's the team that made Rival Schools. Love that fighting game from Capcom. It's an expensive game from Japan called Harmful Park. It's a shmup game. That team, they only made 2 games and disappeared forever off the face of the earth. If you like Metal Slug, the creator of Metal Slug, who originally worked under the company IRM, is coming out with a new game in the same category. He just published it. Well, not published it. He just promoted it at the Tokyo Game Show last week, and it looks like a cool game. It's like it's 2D slash 3D Metal Slug game. Um, if anybody ever played for Nintendo, what's the name of the game? Shadow of the Ninja. Um, Natsume has another development company under them called Tango Project, who's doing the remakes to all the classic gems. Shadow of the Ninja's coming out soon for the PS4 and I think the Nintendo Switch. It looks like a banger. I'm buying that. Like, so I buy things that's kind of does link to childhood in a way. I would definitely say that. I look at those as gems, especially like how I feel like I understand about collecting games now in modern days. Those is gems that your average younger person who just follows only buying AAA titles, they wouldn't understand it until they just hear later in the future. Oh, do you got this $400 game? Oh, you don't. So, yo, Nintendo and PS4, I think, is gonna have a ton of $500,000 games, and it's not really the those collector's editions. It's the $36 games that been coming out. Wild Guns Reloaded, Ninja Saviors. What is the other? Max Riz, you supposed to say, bro. But Pocky Rocket Restrawn, Wild Guns Reloaded, Ninja Saviors, Mr. Gimmick came out today or is about to come out. It's a couple games that's like not gonna be cheap, y'all, and they're $36, $20 games you can buy right now. So PS4, Nintendo Switch era, definitely. Yo, you already know Max Riz. I got to do a parody about that. Max Payne version of Max Riz on that Zaza. Zaza Overload. We in New York. Yo. Yeah, so I don't even got a TV. I don't got a TV. I don't got a PS5. I don't got a Nintendo Switch. I have PS4s. I got two PS4s. I got a couple PS1s. This makes probably like the third or fourth one. I got a couple GameCubes with no freak. I got GameCube games. I got banger GameCube games too, with no joysticks. I got like 3 or 4 of these, no joystick. I got Dreamcast with all the parts. I got Saturns with all the parts. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 with all its parts. PlayStation 1, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all its parts. Sega Genesis, all its parts. I want a TurboGrafx. I want a PC Engine. PS4 today was... Yo, 4 years. 4 years. Yo, tons of systems, tons of games. And I'm in New York. No controller. That's the only system. No controller. Can't, like, and if so, I gotta pay the 30. I gotta pay 30, $40 for it. Like, in these 4 years, or going into 4 years, no controller, yo. Hopefully one day. Really, maybe I need to sell some of this stuff to buy a controller. Cause I don't, to be honest with you, I'm not really worried about the controller behalf. Because like, I mean, I buy fucking games, so I could just buy the controller, but like, GameCube ain't really a system I'm busting my head for to play. I think I'm more stoked to play. Yo, I didn't even have a memory card growing up. Yeah, how about that one? How about not having a memory card for PS1 era, for the GameCube era? Like, how you go? Not even for the N64 era. I didn't even have a memory card. So I definitely couldn't even beat the games, bro. Yo. It was real, yo. It was I don't know if I forget which retro collectors. A lot of people I heard grew up dealing with that. Like basically when the PlayStation 1 first came out, Your parents got you the game, the system in the game, but you didn't get a memory card, and that might not wind up being in the budget as well. Yo, that might not wind up being in the budget, yo. So like you'll get games that you'll just never beat. That was what my life was. Like I had Resident Evil 1 long box for the PS1. Couldn't beat it. Even same scenario for my cousin. He didn't have a memory card for a whole month. Yo, real talk. Real talk. Yeah. Yo, I rented Mystical Ninja from Blockbuster Video, no memory card, N64. Left the system. Yo, my parents turned it off, and I was really far in my progress. I was butt hurt so bad. Yo, even with the Nintendo, to keep it a buck with you, a lot of games. You see, obviously the developers who created those games thought we would probably be beating it in like 5 hours or whatever, but in reality, your average human couldn't. So, yo, that was the same scenario with the Nintendo. With a lot of games, you had to leave it on for 2, 3. Imagine those RP. Did Final Fantasy have a save system? It had to have a save system, yo. Final Fantasy had to have a save system. I can't even think of that for the Nintendo wise. All them RPG games had to have a save system. That's just madness, bro. You leaving it on for 72 hours, 2 weeks, a month. Your system burning out. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro. That is crazy. I loved it. I love this, bro. To be honest with you. And okay, I've already said this on videos too before. Why I like doing my live streams is that I feel like from watching a lot of other retro collectors, not saying all of them in general, but some of them I feel like sugarcoat stuff, and I wanna put people onto things while it's existing right now, that they can obtain it for a low price, instead of like, oh, do you got this $10,000 game today that you bought from like 10 years ago? Oh, you didn't get it? Damn. So like when I said like anybody, if you want to collect a game that's gonna be expensive later, buy Pocky Rock. I'm telling y'all, I got like 20 copies of those sealed. Buy Pocky Rocky Restaurant. It's on sale on Amazon for maybe like $18. That's a $500,000 game. Buy Pocky Rocky Restaurant. I think it's $13 on Woot for the PS4. Wild Guns Reloaded is like a $20 and down game, but it's really like a $500 and up game. That's for the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. Those is two easy games right there. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be like 500 and better. Had battery on it. Yeah, they had to, cause you'll basically be leaving that system on for a month and better if you was playing those any RPG games from the Nintendo. That's madness though. That's straight madness to my opinions. Yo, I wish I could have a little bit more of an extensive NES, Game Boy Color collection. I hit this town up in Jersey that had a bunch of Game Boy Color games. And I bought like 180 pieces for like, I think like $200-300. And I got some good Game Boy Color games. I'm not Game Boy Color games. Yo, there's a game I keep saying to people, and I noticed that the elites, none of them, the Metal Jesus did talk about this. Metal Jesus got an episode, y'all, of talking about, what is it? About his collection of Game Boy Advance games. A lot of the games he showed on that episode are definitely 100% hidden gems, and you can still buy them for cheap prices. So the one game I keep suggesting to anybody, like try to get your hands on now, that is a cheap game. It's a game for the Game Boy Advance called Capcom Classics Mini Mix, which is it's 3 games on that one cartridge, but it has Mighty Final Fight, and I think on eBay you could get it maybe $20 to $15. Mighty Final Fight is like a $400 or $500 game, if I'm right. It's not a cheap game, so I bought like 4 copies. Like the first copy I got was on offer for maybe $5. The other 2 I think I paid $10, and then somebody else on eBay
recently posted it for like $7, free shipping, and I bought it no question. Yo, that's to my opinion. I'm taking like a risk gamble with that. But any compilation CDs that got expensive games on it, I don't think it's gonna be cheap later down. I don't think later on they're gonna be cheap games. So Capcom Classics got a volume 1 and 2 for the PS2. The games that's on Capcom Classic 2, if you look those up for the Super Nintendo or whatever system those games are on, that compilation CD is like a $300 and better dollar CD, and it's still around in the on the internet for like $20 and down. So I definitely bought it. I think one or two of those suckers. Um, Taito Legends Volume 2 for the PS2 got like 2 or 3 games that I think on the Sega Saturn is not cheap games. So I bought like 2 of those discs. Shit. You know it's funny? The collection that I wound up buying last year from a person who didn't pay their storage, out of that collection, the Taito Legends 2 was in his collection too. That like I know why people bought those CDs, because it's the same reason I bought the CDs. It's an object on that disc that's like a $200-300 game. And then if you look them up in Japan, sometimes those compilation discs aren't cheap. For some reason, it's cheap here in America, but over there it's not. And eventually, I think it's gonna follow suit that they're gonna go up in price. So yo, we out here, bro. I'm doing this like on a daily basis to keep it a buck with you. But what helps been picking up my content, I would say to you, is posting memes that I rip off from other from like TikTok and whatnot. YouTube is like last to the party with memes and shorts and short videos. So that, I think I just got maybe 60 or 70 followers, maybe just in the past couple days. But like, I would definitely say that once again, I come from the realm on the social media wise. I come from the realm of shit posting. I love memes, to keep it a buck with you. And as much as people can hate on it or whatever they want to do about it, like I feel like memes run all these social medias, and it's like major effing cap. Memes run, like how Beyonce say, "Who run this world?" Girls, memes run. To my opinion, it's just like a black. It's the black sheep, because it's been ahead of the game basically for all these years. Viral. Every time this meme and everybody go crazy about it, viral. Like, that's fucking crazy. It's like years and years it's been going on now. So memes is the world I kind of come from. The world of shit posting, and in that world, like the word shit posting, I just never gave a shit about getting trillions of. Yo, dude, I said this earlier in the story. One of my SoundClouds, I wound up taking it from 0 to like 500 followers in a week. I got in 100 views. It was a Tay-K song. When Tay-K first blew up, this rapper kid that got locked up. It was one song that didn't come out yet. Nobody posted it on SoundCloud. I posted it, 100K views. And what I was kind of tight about a couple associates that I personally knew, I was telling them about this concept that we should work together as a community and build multiple pages together up on those formats, and then work together when it comes to putting out singular content. Because if we got 4 pages that is getting multiple streams like that, and then we put out one content and combine it all together with those pages, it can maybe get it running. Yo, all they wanted was for me to repost their shit. And I was just like, yo, dude, I told you like light years beyond what I'm showing you right here, and all you could think about is those numbers, and hey, can I repost it in hopes maybe you're gonna get it. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, I'm gonna never stop posting memes on my shorts. If that, God blessedly, keeps developing to have people to come across my page to engage and support, by all means, it's all positivity. And that's all it really is to be about. Like what, the last video that I'm still waiting to load up, I was getting at this dude. There's a dude called Heckin' Steve on his page, and I like him. I like him. There's another dude on TikTok I like who plays video games on live stream, and I think he's hilarious. And Heckin' Steve reminds me of him. But Heckin' Steve, I feel like he's just trolling. But like he talks sh about people why people are able to get all these video games for so cheap, and basically like he can't, he ain't able to do it. So I think that's funny as hell. Like he'll do like, let's say you did an episode, you doing garage sales and whatnot. He's doing a whole breakdown of that episode about how you're a piece of shit for getting all this stuff, how you got it, and I like it actually. I like it a lot. So I hope he might do an episode about me with like, yeah. How you feel today, Heckin' Steve? Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not really sorry. And I ain't stopping. I ain't stopping at all. Yeah, all them other retro collectors who be getting people at them yard sales, yeah, they taught me very well. They taught me very well. I'm in much appreciation. I can't tell you how pleased. Oh man. But am I going after every game in the world? No, hell no, I'm not. I would say that to anybody like that's watching this about physical media and whatnot. No, I am not going after every video game and every movie at all. Nevuary. When? Nevuary. Ever. Never. No. That's that. I don't personally see a value in that for myself. And that's, yeah, I'm just not that extreme. I consider that maybe a little extreme. I go after things that I feel other people could see a value in. So like how I said, if anybody likes Silent Hill games, the new Silent Hill coming out, Behavior is working on it, and I'm gonna tell y'all, like, every game Behavior ever made so far are great games. They have not made, I think, one bad game. They got like this team from Canada, which I really love Japanese companies, but this Canadian team, yo, really, I can't even say that because Doom was American made, and Duke Nukem and Unreal Tournament, if I'm correct. So there's a lot of American games that's fantastic, American made games. But yo, dude, I'm telling you, if I could make a suggestion to you, buy Mr. Gimmick for the PS4. Either get a copy for the PS. I would say maybe get the copy for the Nintendo Switch and just put it away sealed. If you could get 5 copies and put it away sealed, and get yourself copies of the Pocky Rock. I tell everybody that shit. Get copies of the Pocky Rocket Restaurant. Look it up on price charting. It's a history. The same thing. Like, okay, if you notice, that's kind of the same thing happening with the Silent Hills. All the Silent Hills eventually the PS3 is gonna follow suit. But from PS1 all to those other ones, up to like 4 or 5 of them, is all $90, $100. This kind of, I guess, exists with certain games that I guess are good classic games. And I'm into the genre bullet hells, and anything that got fantastic anime art, which bullet hells do that a lot. Pocky Rocky is kind of in that realm. Yeah, I would definitely say, don't miss out on getting a copy of that game. Look it up on price chart. I'm trying to think of the name. Pocky Rocket Restaurant Part 1 or 2. None of them is cheap. None of them cheap at all. Wild Guns for the SNES and Super Famicom, not cheap at all. So, while I'm mentioning that, I keep saying that the OGs basically from Japan who are legend GOATs, I consider. This is like the 30th anniversary basically, or the 25th anniversary from those games coming out a long time ago, and that's why you're seeing like this whole resurgence of remakes, I guess to say. Like how they did the Resident Evil remakes, they're all of a sudden doing they did the Dead Space remake, they're doing a Silent Hill remake. They came out with basically a Wild Guns Reloaded remake, Pocky Rocky remake, which I'm gonna tell you, I consider those 2 games and this Mr. Gimmick coming out, I think either today or whatever. That's a PAL game that's worth like $2,000 to $5,000. The Mr. Gimmick game is like a $2,000 to $5,000 game. The cheapest disc is when Sunsoft printed it for the PS1. That's a $500 disc. telling you, the cheapest possession of a Mr. Gimmick game is when and it goes back to what I'm saying to y'all about the compilation disc. It's a compilation disc. Sunsoft did in Japan. It's a $500 disc. So any possession of Mr. Gimmick, I'm gonna say, I consider that the lowest price, basically. I would say about that. Yo, yeah, to be honest with you, I ordered like 10 copies of that. I'm contemplating maybe for now to cancel on maybe just 5 of them, and then wait for it to go down in price. And if it goes down in price to like a double, whatever, I'm buying like 20 copies of it. Mr. Gimmick is like a $500 to $2,000 game and up. So there's a lot of games coming out right now through that limited run and this, that, and whatnot. That IN basically printed the whole trilogy of Cotton games, which majority of all those games is 100 and change and up. They printed out a whole trilogy of Cotton games basically, and they're coming out with the Sega Dreamcast one. That's another 100 and change video game. So this is one of the most banging eras to collect video games, and I don't think it's ever gonna come back, to be honest, after this. So I'm all in on this behalf, to keep it a buck. And I'm not even playing none of these games at the moment. To really be honest with you, out of all this stuff, I would 100% play the PS1 stuff and the Nintendo Switch stuff. Like I was saying, that Pocky Rockies, the Wild Guns, oh my gosh. It's beautiful games. It's really beautiful art, beautiful games. I really want Tombo 1 and 2. Yeah. Anybody who ever sees this video, if you got Tombo 1 or Part 2 or both of them, and you're willing to trade, please contact me. I am looking to trade. Yo, bro, I will trade you that. Anybody looking for Armor Core, I will gladly trade you that for Tombo 1 or Part 2. I will gladly trade you that for Tombo 1 or Part 2. If anybody's looking for Armor Core, I will trade you that for Part 1 or 2. Let me know. I'd rather Tombo right now over Armor Core. Easy. I will take that easy, because that's like a not to say a childhood game, but like basically I was like a young teenager when the PS1 came out. Anybody got Tombo 1 and 2, I will gladly trade you that for this Armor Core Part 1 complete in box. I will definitely trade that. I want Tombo 1 Part 1 or 2. Definitely. I would love to have that in my collection. Yeah, I don't need every freaking PS1 game. I can say that over and over and over. I do not need every game for every console. Like, what I went after from the PS1 era as much as possible was horror games. The Deception series, I finally got that in possession, 1 through 4. I became hip to RPG games really from the beginning. But let's say beginning, but like Final Fantasy VII was maybe the first RPG game I was really, really exposed to. And I love it. I got a copy of that. But Deception series, I think, is a fantastic RPG. I would say definitely the Fire Emblem series. When I was playing translated Super Famicom games, Fire Emblem series is a genealogy of the Holy War. Banging, I think it is. It's a banging RPG tactical game. If you like Advance Wars, it's better than Advance Wars. Fire Emblem. But to me, I don't know how I never played the modern Fire Emblems that came out right now for the DS or the Switch. I didn't play those. I played the original ones for the Super Famicom. And Genealogy, I think, is the best one. And it's a banging game. I'm slow at the game, so I could see myself playing it forever. That's how I was engaged into it. I like the fact that people who are on your team, you can lose them you can either have them forever and they grow in the story, or you can lose them forever in certain chapters of the story. So I thought that whole concept was really cool about the game, to be able to lose characters if they die in battle, and then you don't know where their story continues on with. Fire Emblem I thought was cool. Sweet Home, I would like for them to do English. They got an English translate, but I would like for them to officially put that out in America. I think that would be cool. The American version of that was the Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy Color. I think that was based off maybe the same team. But that was basically the second game, I would say, the continuation to that Sweet Home from Japan. And I I would really like that game. I used to play the Translate. I enjoyed that game a lot. That was a cool one. Um be honest with you, I look forward in the coming future to playing Owl Boy. I got a copy of that. I got a copy of a bunch of, I think, good games. In this coming future, I'ma be messing around with. Um, we just chilling out, bro. We chilling. What time is it now? All right, hour and a half in the day, and the birthday's over, baby. The birthday's over. Oh no. Yeah, imagination is the key. That's why I feel like one of my main powers that still exists here. Most people, as they grow in ages into their teenage, into adulthood, they gotta cut imagination and being goofy and being positive or whatever, so they could blend in with society. I consider that a form of weakness, and without imagination, you can't create nothing. So that is one of the main things I would say for anybody. You want to do YouTubes, you want to do TikToks, whatever. You got to start with imagination. You got to wiggle your elbows, shake your arms. You got to be able to develop, to get out your shell. And it's not a problem to like other people for their sense of humor or characteristics, and maybe want to incorporate that into who you want to present yourself in light. Dude, just to randomly go off into comic books, my two favorite artists from Marvel Comics, Simon Beasley, American, and Jay Lee, American. Um, they're two, I think, the most greatest artists probably to ever be in Marvel Comics. And I was just thinking that today, if somehow they could both fuse together and mutate a child out of them, that would be the modern day best artist, greatest artist for Marvel Comics. If you could combine Simon Beasley and Jay Lee art together, that's. If you ever heard of Tank Girl, what is the other one? Gorillas, the music band, the art from that. What other art? Frank Miller, Sin City. Like, look at Simon Beasley art. Just look up Simon Beasley, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then Jay Lee, Jaeele. Look up both of their art. But Simon Beasley, really, he did Lobo, he did Judge Dredd, he did Batman, he did a lot of characters, and like, it's just like the most wickedest and edgiest, I would say, of artists. Jay Lee is like next to him, I would say, but like, yo, Simon Beasley, he's number one, I would say, out of comic books wise. That would be beautiful. Okay, think of Vanilla video games. Vanilla art. That's who worked for Atlas. With Simon Beasley, I will buy that game. Let Simon Beasley. That I'm just freestyling, but I think that would be so freaking worth it. I will buy that game. I will buy that game, and I would have to go to a convention and get his autograph on that. I would buy that game, bro. Simon Beasley need to team up with Vanillaware. I would definitely say that. Look up Dragon's Crown and look up Simon Beasley art. Look up Dragon Crown. Look up majority of Vanillaware's art. That's from Japan, and look up Simon Beasley, who been doing that since the 1980s. Simon Beasley need a 2D video game. That would be insane. 2D, all hand drawn, violent video game. Maybe Lobo, maybe Judge Dredd, whoever it needs to be. It could be Simon Beasley himself. It could be Simon Beasley himself, the video game. I'm buying that shit. I just randomly think about that's another thing, art about just talking and randomly talking and stuff like that. I would say that that's how ideas could come. Simon Beasley video game. Simon Beasley need a video game, bro. But it has to be all his art. It has to be all Simon Beasley drawn video game. Yo, I swear to everything. Like, yo, bro, oh my gosh. I'm like how people would say mouth watering for a steak. Give me a Simon Beasley physical video game. Simon Beasley video game. You see? So I think about artists and developers, bro. Yeah. It ain't just NBA 2K. Simon Beasley video game. I'm stuck on that one right now. I want a Simon Beasley game. I really wish for a Simon. He actually did the cover art, I think, to the Heavy Metal, and he might have did predominant. Matter of fact, Heavy Metal for the Sega Dreamcast might be all drawn by Simon Beasley. Let's look that up right now. He might, because I think he did do predominantly the artwork for the Heavy Metal game. But I want to know is like basically he did. All right, I'm gonna look that up right now. Simon Beasley might have did a game, and then I need to buy Heavy Metal for the Sega Dreamcast. Actually, I just forgot about that. Let me look that up real quick. Heavy Metal, because he did a lot of the comic books, but I think he might have been a major part to the development of that video game. Heavy Metal, Dreamcast. Let's look at the team. So see, I read about this is what I be doing with video games. Like I like reading about the stories. I like maybe hearing the story that before you made this video game, you was working. Majesco Video Games worked as an ambulance driver, and then while in the mix of doing ambulance driving, he started developing to build the company Majesco and started to get publishing rights and got publishing rights to reprint a lot of Nintendo and Capcom and other official people games. That's big. That's big. So he did that. He's like the first limited run. If you want to think about it, anybody. Majesco is like the first official limited. All these companies who's doing reprints and this, that, and whatnot, Majesco is the first person doing that, if I'm correct to say. So, I think, yeah, Majesco was driving ambulances in Brooklyn, New York. The game publishing company. I've been trying to search that dude up to see if I could get in contact with him, because his story, I think that's a cool ass story. A lot of people think that people just be coming from IT or coming from money or this, that, and whatnot. Nah, a video game company that was working out of New Jersey but also manufacturing in Mexico was from Brooklyn, New York. A Jewish dude from Brooklyn, New York, who one of his gigs was dealing with ambulance driving, if I'm correct. So I definitely need to hear more. I forget his name right now at the moment, but the CEO. Basically, the CEO and full owner and everything of Majesco Games, who had publishing rights over official Nintendo game, Nintendo SNES games and Capcom. He was basically republishing them and had the rights to it. But I know what I'm talking about the cover art, because I already see it right now. Simon Beasley. But I'm just trying to zoom in on the information. So creative design with Simon Beasley. So yeah, Simon Beasley worked on the Heavy Metal game that was published by Capcom. I know my Simon Beasley, bro. So okay, Simon Beasley does got a project, but preferably, I know what Simon Beasley needs to work with like a Vanillaware. That's what I'm gonna say. He needs to work with Vanillaware, all hand drawn. Violent game. That's what this game should have been. That first game they did with that 3, but it's all 3D. It should have been an all hand drawn 2D game. That would have been one of the most expensive games for the Sega Dreamcast. I promise you that everything I love. If it was all hand drawn art, Simon Beasley game, that would have been one of the most expensive games for the Dreamcast. Because I'm telling you, the artwork would have been. It would have been better than Vanillaware. No offense to Vanillaware. Fantastic company. Fantastic works of art. You're not fucking with Simon Beasley. Simon Beasley birthed you. That's it. That's that. If anybody was to say somebody is somebody's godfather, he is definitely Simon Beasley is definitely Tank Girls, Jamie Huell's godfather. He's definitely freaking a lot of people's godfathers, bro. Simon Beasley. He's definitely a godfather. Look up Vanilla Ware's Dragon Crown. Look up all that art and look up Simon Beasley art. American artist. Simon Beasley. Yeah, I gotta watch now. Now I'm about to look it up on YouTube because I want to see at least if the 3D art could have been at least a little bit cool to Simon Beasley's like vision. If it could have something cool to his vision, maybe I could click with it. I didn't even know I was gonna go this long into this video. But it does kind of look Beasley-ish, bro. Yo, the artwork is kind of, it is kind of looking cool, actually. The characters design is on some Beasley, shit. Yeah, but it would have been better if it was a 2D game. If this was a 2D hand-drawn game, the art would have been way better. Like, okay. To do a Simon Beast, I don't even think you could do that in 3D graphics even in modern day. I don't think you could do it. It's so much detail in his art. It's so abstract and there's so much detail in his art that you're better off drawing it. You haven't reached that yet in 3D games. Yo, 1 minute, let me see who the other person was. The first thing they just said. Kevin Eastman. So isn't that maybe one of the dudes from that might be one of the dudes from Ninja Turtles, who is the creator? Because that's fire. Yo, if that's who I think it is, I mean now I gotta look up that name, bro. Kevin Eastman. I think that's Ninja Turtles. I'm not bugging, bro. That was a kind of cool, to keep it a buck with you. I gotta read into that about that heavy metal game for the Dreamcast. That was a cool project. So Kevin Eastman, one of the original creators of Ninja Turtles, and Simon Beasley, like, yo, I gotta look up if Simon Beasley did Ninja. Oh yeah, I'm probably want to buy that comic too. If Simon Beasley worked with Kevin and did some Ninja Turtles, I gotta get that shit. So that's a fantastic project. I didn't know that now. Now I do though. So Kevin Eastman and Simon Beasley, but just 3D games, just like, I don't know how to. I mean, they needed to hand draw. If they would have hand drew this game, it would have been a banger. This would have been guaranteed. This would have been one of the most, if not the most expensive game for the entire system. Like, it kind of looks cool. If they would have hand drew it, they would have been better off. This is like basic. Like, to me, I consider this basic. Like, I like the vibe to an extent. I'm not gonna I like this vibe. I like the character, yeah, but nah. It would have been better if it was hand drawn. It would have been so beautiful. If Heavy Metal Geometrics needed to be hand drawn. That I can't stop saying that. It needed to be a hand-drawn game. Simon Beasley could give Vanillaware a run for their money. I will definitely say that. If Vanillaware wanted to compete with Simon Beasley for who could do the best hand-drawn game, Simon Beasley will smash them. No question about it. No question about it. They needed to do it 2D. That was the issue I'm seeing right now. Yeah, this needed to be a 2D game. This just looks like so. When I look at this game, look horrible to me. For Sega Dreamcast game, it looks really bad. It needed to be the Heavy Metal game by Eastman and Beasley needed to be a 2D game, fighter slash shooter. But not when I mean like beat 'em up. Like a beat 'em upper shooting game it could have possibly been, I would have said, for them to do. All hand drawn. All entirely hand drawn. This looks like garbage, bro. And that's messed up because that thing about video games throughout all these decades, it was just 3D, all this 3D nonsense. And nah, man. If they would have hand drew that game, that would have been one of the most expensive video games for that system. I'm telling y'all right now, if they would have hand drew, that would be one of the most expensive games, bro. Yeah, I'm not really wild looking at this video game, bro. To keep it a buck with you. Shit, I should have invited. I think I could have invited him. They need to let you do background walls. That would be cool. They need to let you do background walls. That would be cool for the IG. Like they got the option for the shorts, but they need to add that option for the live streams. So if you want to just add, I could basically be showing y'all visuals while talking. The thing that people have to do editing from a computer, they need to add. They just need to automate to have a green screen for the live streams for Instagram. And then with that, I could stay showing y'all information while I'm talking. But actually while I'm chatting or still here, I'm just looking at this heavy metal and I'm just disappointed because I'm telling y'all this dude's artwork is like a billion times better than Vanilla Bear. I'm telling you, he's a godfather to all that stuff. Simon Beasley, yo. Definitely. Simon Beasley, Jay Lee video game. But that's what I'm gonna tell you comic book artists need to do. They need to do hand-drawn video games. And that would be cool. They need to do hand-drawn. Same thing. I mean, unfortunately, I guess it's a lot of work. But for them legendary Japanese art mangas. Oh man, that would make my mouth water, yo. Oh my gosh. Video games too that look just like the cartoon. My head would explode. I would feel like the first time when I first saw Sega Saturn and the PlayStation, I remember I was begging my parents to buy me that type stuff. Oh yeah, the games look like real humans. It's the future. Nah, man. That's how I would look at it if they That's how I would look at video games in modern day in general. To say too is that it took decades to get better and better at it. We never got this PS5 era. You're gonna have to wait some years for it to get better and better. To get the best of games of PS5 era, you're gonna have to wait for it to get better and better. It's more towards the middle, towards the end. And like, yeah, it could be a game or two that come out in the beginning of the era that could become expensive games or whatever, but like, it's really towards the middle, towards the end where the best of the games I feel is gonna come out. Anyway, we out of here, y'all. We're gonna wrap this up. Y'all have a good night, man. Thank you for checking me out. Very much. I really mean that. Thank you for your time. Y'all have a good night, y'all. Stay safe. Go run the block. Be healthy. That's what I mean, like jogging around your neighborhood or something. Keep your health. Your health is really your most important wealth.